Lockie, how's the pre-season going?
Yeah, it's pretty hot, pretty solid so far. It'll be good just around the corner, a few games starting, so I'm looking forward to that.
Are you going through a particularly heavy phase at the moment? It seems like the boys are getting pretty flogged out there.
Yeah, January is typically pretty solid. Obviously it's the last serious block of pre-season before the games start happening, so we get a lot of volume in during this period.
Is it harder than previous pre-seasons you've done? I guess last year was interrupted for you, but is this a tougher pre-season or?
Oh, not really. All pre-seasons are tough. And each year one club's going to go a little bit harder than another. So each year the clubs are trying to improve on the rest of the competition, and this year's no different.
Have you got your program for the NAB Cup? Will you play each game or one game, 2 games?
I'm not really sure so far. They haven't outlined to specific players how much each player's going to play. I know that I'll look to play a few games at least, but I'm not sure exactly how much.
How far off 100% are you? Are you full training now?
Pretty much. Made a pretty good progression today and did most of the session today, so next week I'd look to take part in most of the sessions.
Are you confident you'll have no more trouble with that shoulder?
Yeah, I'm as confident as you can be coming off the back of 2 surgeries. There's never a 100% guarantee, but I'm pretty confident I've done all the work I can, so there should be no problem, hopefully.
You've been earmarked to sort of step into the elite class this season, you know, with bookmakers and whatever, in relation to Brownlow medals. So you're ready to take the next step up?
Really it's just about getting my body right to start with, getting my head around what needs to be achieved by me as far as the team dynamic, and just looking forward to getting out with the boys and training fully, and trying to play 22 games this year as opposed to missing a fair bit with injury. So
is that the personal goal, to make sure you get through the whole season and play 22 games?
Yeah, it is a little bit on the back of missing a big chunk last year. I'm more keen this year to have my body ready to go round 1 and try and sustain that throughout the full season.
While you haven't been in full training now, what have you been able to work on and improve?
Yeah, so the guys that aren't training spend a lot of time in the gym and working on the areas that they're deficient in, as well as doing a lot of running away from the main group. So we do a fair bit of volume as well.
Do you feel like your running's improved this pre-season?
I wouldn't say improved, but I'm obviously getting fitter and fitter the more sessions I do, and I'm back up to a level of fitness where I'm ready to step into full training and really be valuable.
Ross sort of mentioned a couple of times last year that you may have needed a little bit of polish on your kicking. Have you done any work on that over the pre-season? Yeah,
pre-season is a good time to work on your areas of weakness, and obviously kicking is something that I want to work on, and have been able to do as much as I can, as well as work on my strengths and my fitness as well.
David, you look bigger. Is that just natural growth, or have you sort of sought to put on a few kilos and become a little bit more powerful?
Yeah, a little bit of both. I'm probably pushing the 89 kilo mark, which is about where I want to play at. Obviously I don't want to be too heavy so I lose that run, but I think this year's a little bit of getting to know what it's like playing at 89 kilos, and if I need a little bit more next year then I can always go up, but I'm pretty comfortable and confident with where I'm at the moment.
What's that in comparison to what you played at last year?
So last year I was playing around the 85, 86. Obviously I missed that big chunk with my shoulder, so when I came back from that I was a little bit heavier again, but I have put on a little bit from last year, but nothing too significant.
How do you find the extra weight? How does that affect the way you run and your ability to sustain run?
Yeah, so as I was saying, at the moment I'm pretty comfortable with it. The jump hasn't been that significant that it's noticeable, but hopefully I'll just be able to stand up in packs a little bit better this year.
Does that mean you might be used a little bit forward as well as in the midfield, be able to sort of like take a pack mark and that sort of thing? You played a lot of juniors there.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Ross has in mind, but the ability to be versatile is a key trait in the great players in the AFL, so I'll look to add that to my game as well.
Fyfe, I don't know if you know this or can answer this, but Lockie Neal, since he had that heat exhaustion or whatever, he wasn't out there again today. Is he going okay?
Yeah, from all reports he's fine. I haven't had direct contact with Lockie, but yeah, every pre-season a lot of guys go through the heat stroke phase, especially over here in WA. It's pretty hot, so it's nothing new.
There was some speculation regarding Sandy. Is there any news on Sandy? There's some talk going around that he went and saw a surgeon or something yesterday.
No, it's the first I've heard.
Nat, can you give us your observations on the club's young midfielders, guys like Sutcliffe, Mitchie, Pitt, Crozier and how they've gone this pre-season?
Yeah, I think the club's in a really strong position at the moment with that next batch of players coming through. They're obviously taking strong note from guys like Hilly and David Mundy and really learning quickly, and they're going to add great depth to the club, obviously this year and years to come.
Is there a standout you could nominate?
I think Cam Sutcliffe is the bloke you mentioned. His running abilities is first class, and his ball hunting abilities is one of his skills, and if he can just add a bit of polish to his game, he's going to be an elite player in the future.
Nathan, people talk about you now as like one of the genuine stars of the competition. You're 2 or 3 years into your career. How does that sit with you? Do you just let that fly by, or do you absorb any of that? What do you make of it?
Footy clubs are great at really bringing everyone back down to earth and keeping everyone on the same playing field, so to speak. Any media hype or external expectation I really put aside and just focus purely on the job that the club and the team needs me to do.
What about captaincy though, Fyfe? Would you like, Pav said the other day, he might step down in a year or so. Would that be something that you'd like to do?
Leadership's probably something I want to work into my game a little bit more. Obviously, hopefully Pav's got a few more good years under his belt left to go. But yeah, leadership is something that I'm developing. I haven't got my eyes on the captaincy or anything like that in the near future, but we've got some great leaders around the club who would step into that role perfectly.